Oh, hello. Hello to people joining us live. Hello to people joining us on the replay. And I tell you what, there are very few webinars that I look forward to more than something about product creation, because I honestly think that this is the ignored ugly sister of online business these days. In the rush to find the latest, greatest push button solution, the obvious thing of putting buy buttons with your names out there online so that you can earn money on autopilot when people buy them and go to your members areas is ignored. And I think it's ignored at your peril, because it's the most successful and most reliable way to create an online business and to create a reliable affiliate income. I'd love to be able to share my screen just now. Let's sort that out. And yeah, welcome to Create a Digital Product in a Weekend Workshop. I'm just wondering, for people who are with us live, for people who are watching this on the replay, how much experience of product creation do you currently have? What sort of things have you tried? Where are you at in terms of your own ambitions? What have you managed to create so far? What are your ambitions in terms of product creation? If you could put this into the chat box, that would be fantastic. If you can give us a bit of an idea about where you're starting out, it'll help me as I'm presenting my material to be able to make this appropriate to you. And I probably would have been better saying this earlier. Can you hear me? Can we do a sound check? Can you hear me okay? Is the video appearing on your screen okay? At the moment, you should see a hand with an ear, and can you hear me? Bottom line here is, in the event of technical problems or gremlins, please let me know in the chat. There is a small delay in terms of what you put into the chat box and what I hear. However, I'll be recording and circulating a replay of the webinar too, so you needn't worry too much about missing anything. By the end of this webinar, I want you to leave with the knowledge that you need to create a saleable digital product in a weekend. But more than that, I want you to understand why this actually is the best way to create a digital product. It just also happens to be the fastest way as well. I'm going to explain why this process is so effective today, as well as how to do it. And I want to make taking action with the information I'm giving you today really easy. And I've created a toolkit which guides you step by step through my own product creation system. And at the end of the webinar, I want to give this to you so that you've got everything you need to make your next digital product using my system and my method if you want to. And I'd also like to make a bit of a deal with you today. If I can provide you with an hour or more's worth of actionable content, do I have your permission to introduce you to an opportunity which could take your own product creation efforts to the next level for 10 minutes or so at the end of the webinar? I want to promise you here that I'm not someone who will disguise a load of fluff as a sales pitch. I've got some real techniques and strategies to introduce you to today, and then a complimentary offer of my own, which we'll find out more about in a moment. But look, before all that, I just wanted to share some of the questions that I've had about product creation over the last few years that have led me to this point. And maybe you've had some of the same questions. And please let me know in the chat box or by email if you're watching the replay. If you could spend a few moments now to write your biggest problems, your biggest questions, your biggest challenges about product creation. I'll return back to these in a few minutes, and I'll certainly reply to any emails that I receive. Because whether you're wanting to make your first product or if you're a veteran of many of them, I imagine that you'll know the challenge of trying to make things and run your everyday life too. The time commitment and the pressure of traditional product creation can be considerable. When I was looking at product creation as a business model, I wondered first what to create, and I wondered what niche to target, what problem to try and solve, and I got lost in indecision for a while. I wanted to make something of a high quality, and I knew that was important to me. And I was aware that this was taking a long time as I was creating things. And I was honestly worried about how I was going to be able to keep up doing this. I was questioning where my time was going to come from. And I was quite worried about this commitment and the commitment of the full-time job, the family, as well as my business as it was a few years ago. But I was absolutely determined to crack these problems and solve them, because success selling digital products happens when you get a few of them out there making you money and building your reputation and building your list. The time you take getting to that point is an important element in your success. And I'd like to give you some pointers on how to make that time as short as possible in your own experience. But I want to give you some background so you can understand a little bit about where I'm coming from. For those that don't know me, my name's Ant Carter. I've been a salesperson, a teacher and technology trainer, a web designer, a digital entrepreneur, and an e-learning consultant for a university down the road from me here. And for over a decade, I've pioneered distance and e-learning in the various forms of employment I've been in, from designing a national e-learning platform for UK schools to starting numerous training websites teaching different types of people to learn new skills, as students and teachers who teach them too. And one of these, Teach with Technology, is on the screen. This is a membership site that I created, I think, almost 3 years ago now, to deliver a course I wrote for UK primary school teachers on how to teach young people coding skills. And I quickly had 500 active members logging on and using this. And more recently, you'll probably know, I launched Commission Magic, and I was lucky enough that the product achieved Warrior Plus product of the day. And to date, this has sold, I think it's 1,400 or 1,040 copies. This has earned me over $5,000 to date in just a few days. But more than that, this will continue to pay me back for years to come, both with sales of the product itself, but also with sales of the affiliate products to the buyers list I created by selling it. Because it's this long-term impact that will make a difference to my life. This webinar is a collection of the lessons I've learned through the products that I've developed and the things that I've learned that don't work along the way, so that you don't need to make the same mistakes. Because it can be really tempting to look at the surface of successful product launches and assume that everything happened to plan, that the person doing the launching had a perfect run and everything worked great. But all too often, that just simply isn't the case. Many launches go badly wrong for a number of reasons. And I want to deal with some of these today and provide you with some simple solutions. Because look, like everything we do, we make mistakes, don't we? And I've refined my own process of product creation based on the mistakes that I've learned from and the advice of six-figure marketers I've had the benefit of working with over the years. So what mistakes do people make when designing and launching their own products? Well, the biggest mistakes, in my opinion, are to do with complexity, profit, and time. And these three factors, all of which are crucial to a successful launch, are the foundation of the system I use now and that I'm going to share with you today. But as a product creator, these three factors always continue to challenge you. Commission Magic is an example. It was a monster product for me to create. 84 full color pages, 12 sales videos, 3 hours of pro video training. I let mission creep take over this one consciously because I wanted to create the perfect affiliate training product. What you don't know in addition to that is that I actually started out creating a product focused on explaining my email marketing strategy. And I changed tack completely when talking to a partner I got on board for the launch and some people who helped me sell it. As a result, over the 2 months I was working on this and not earning any money selling it, I created 2 products, not just one. And actually, that process wasn't an efficient one for me, because this took a long time. And this is a really common mistake. And I see people making this over and over. It stops many people from finishing a product which is never quite ready for launch. They're always trying to add just another piece. And look, if these huge, perfect products do eventually launch, customers don't understand them because they try and do too much. Because I don't think many people often ask themselves why they're in the product creation business in the first place. Instead, they just go out and try and create a great product. If they did ask this question, the answer would probably be something like to achieve financial freedom for myself and my family. And it's this that should inform the way that you plan and create your products. The point I'm trying to make is that you need to treat your product creation like a business, not like a hobby. Because either you can create the perfect product, or you can create the maximum profit for the time you spend creating it. And these two things are actually very different. In a launch model business, particularly in a successful launch model online business, profit is usually best created through repeated launches, building up reputation with affiliates and customers through each one, and building a buyer's list from those repeated launches too. Instead, many people spend 6 months or even more creating a product on and off, working on other parts of their business at the same time. They want their product to be perfect a lot of the time and to solve a range of problems, to look perfect perhaps. And I believe many people want this for personal reasons. I understand they want to be proud of what they create, but this often comes at a cost of in terms of the time they spend tweaking things that in the end really don't matter very much. And if they ask themselves honestly, with the benefit of hindsight, did this search for perfection in their product come at a cost? Many people would have to answer yes. And the time they take to create their products is actually unsustainable as a business model if repeated, unless they sell thousands of copies of everything they make, which is generally a little bit unrealistic to expect. I think many people do this because they misunderstand the average customer in their niche. Many people design something enormous and trying to design something perfect because this is what they believe their customer needs. And even if this turns out to be the case, in terms of selling things effectively, what your customer wants trumps what they need every time. So what does the average make money online customer want? Often they want simplicity, something that's easily applied, a small solution to a specific problem that they have. And yeah, okay, a lot of the time they want a done-for-you shortcut solution with a press me button, even if that shortcut doesn't actually work very well. But the fact in selling anything online or offline is that people buy specific solutions to specific problems more often than anything else. They also spend much more to get those specific solutions too. A general solution to a range of problems, whether this is actually more valuable to them in reality or not, never sells as well. Now, realizing this when you're creating your products is gold because it simplifies what you have to create. Now, going into your own product creation, remember that it's better to do one thing really well and leave the extra bits for a future product or another part of that funnel. And remember that the purpose of your business is not to make the perfect product, but to maximize your profit and use your time effectively. Another thing you need to realize, and I know this sounds stupid, but it's important to recognize the real difference between a $7 product and a kind of $97 plus product. Because it's tempting to think that the more full of value your $7 or low price product is, the more it will sell and the happier your customers will be. But that actually isn't the case. In a cheaper product, your customer will be expecting something they can implement quickly. They actively don't want the additional bits. And if you deliver a perfect course, an enormous course delivered at a low price point, this actually gets refunded precisely because of this perfection. Well, the title of this webinar is to create a digital product in a weekend or a few days. Well, why is this important? Why is it important to try and create things quickly? Well, to become truly successful as a product creator, you'll need to create a production line of products, or you'll need to find one product which really, truly takes off. Software products are an example of these kind of things, aren't they? They often sell hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue, but they take a long time to develop. But for many people in selling information products, training products, the fact is that it's much easier to succeed by creating lots of smaller products which deliver single solutions to single problems. Well, ask yourself how you would feel if you spent all year creating something perfect and then launching this to very, very good sales of 500 people, and maybe you get a warm glow that what you've created was truly wonderful and really useful to your customers. Well, compare this to spending the same time creating 10 products and making sales of 250 products each time you launch. Well, ask yourself now, which one of these situations is going to move your dreams on? Knowing that the money is in the list, it's blindingly obvious that having 2,500 subscribers is always going to be profitable, more profitable in the long term than having 500 subscribers. And look, recognize right now that taking personal pleasure in creating something perfect is the attitude of a hobbyist. Now, and ask yourself now if you're running a hobby or a business, because the difference is in your ultimate purpose. Because either what you create is going to provide you with a smile in terms of a hobby, or it's going to make you money in terms of a business. And I don't know anyone who's creating products online who really doesn't want to try and make this their full-time job. Your product creation business is a business, and it's important to understand the difference between operating as a hobby and operating as a business. I also want to ask you what your perception of a product is, because it really doesn't have to be a 40 video marathon which takes 12 months to make. Now, think about this. If this marathon product doesn't sell, how much time have you wasted creating it? Or what about a cheat sheet which fails to gather the level of interest of customers? Which one of these has the biggest level of risk? Because no one creates hit products every single time. And if a smaller idea fails, it's much easier to ride this out. And look, over time, you'll sell more smaller products and build a larger list, because this is the real aim of launching a product. The fact is that launching simple products works. Another good way to think about this is to ask yourself where the profit from your launch is going to come from. Is it from the sales of your front-end product, your $7 product? Well, often with 100% of commission to affiliates, you make nothing at all there, so it can't be. Is it from the sales of products, affiliate products to your buyers list? Well, possibly. It could be from the recommendation of affiliate products in your members area. It could be from partnering with someone that have something valuable to sell your customers, often by webinar following the launch. A lot of people have a pure focus on the front-end product, and this is a mistake, because often your profit will be made elsewhere. The front-end product often exists simply to gain customers at zero cost. You give it away to affiliates, you give the product profit away to affiliates, and you swap that to gain a customer. That's the role of the front-end product. You're not going to make a million selling $7 products at all. But I hope that I've explained why product launchers fail as business people in some senses. Then I hope I've given you a few ideas about how to avoid that failure yourself, because these things are the foundation to the system I've been evolving, and I'm still evolving. And I'd like to share this with you today, because with the right approach to your time and the right idea of what a product is, your business will be set up for much faster growth and a much clearer route to success. I truly wish I'd understood these things a few years ago. And look, if you've got any questions as we go along, I'm just going to have a little drink. If you've got any questions as we go along, either on the live broadcast, or if you've got any questions watching the replay, please fire them to me on email. Very happy to be able to answer your questions. I've come through a lot of barriers and difficulties and challenges in my own career online. I'd like to be able to help you do the same and start you off on your product creation journey successfully. So please chuck any questions in the chat box. I'd be very happy to answer them at any stage. But look, before we look at my system in detail, there are a few things we need to be clear about before we begin. Firstly, our goal in producing products quickly, simple products, is to produce a how-to guide. Basically, what you're creating is a how-to guide. It's going to show a step-by-step process leading your customer to an actual outcome that they value. And if you keep that in mind, that'll avoid you creating a product full of fluff or unnecessary stuff that customers don't really care about and that will actually end up confusing them. Secondly, and this is going to help us create simple products, realize now that specific sells. When we're designing our products, we need to be as specific as we can. Every really successful product in any market or any niche is successful because it gives the customer that buys it a specific outcome. The most successful products are also designed with a specific audience in mind too, and we need to be crystal clear about who our product is helping, what problem it helps them to solve, and what ambition is it helping them to achieve. What's the ultimate benefit in them buying it? But being specific with our product creation efforts also helps us tightly define what we're creating. And this will stop mission creep, because as we create something, we can refer back to our specific plan. I'm going to give you this in the toolkit that I give you at the end of this webinar. So we're aiming for a simple solution, ideally, and I would say a simple solution that can be read or experienced in no more than an hour is a good measure of a simple product. This product will solve one specific problem. It's going to be infotainment, if you like, if you understand what that expression means. It'll be positioned at a cheaper price point, and it'll meet the expectations people have at that price point. So how do I create simple, focused products like this in a weekend or in a few days? Well, I'd like to remind you that at the end of the webinar, I'll be sharing a link where you can download a toolkit which details the process I go through with some of the strategies I use and some of the techniques I use to kickstart my brain, use my time well, and get productive quickly. The aim of this part of the webinar is not to explain this step by step, because the toolkit does this already. I want to give you an overview and some advice on how to do product creation the fast way, so that you're able to pick up that toolkit at the end of the webinar and be able to run with it. Let's have a look at this weekend process. And look, I'm framing it as a weekend. You could spend a few hours a day over a few weeks. You could spend a few days and then take a break and then come back to it. But this concept of a weekend, it's Friday night. You're preparing for the weekend, and it's important to get organized. This weekend, your product creation time is an event. Build up to it. Be prepared for it. Get your workspace ready to go, so there's no sorting out to do on Saturday mornings. You don't need to procrastinate. And review the process you're going through and know what you're going to have to do. The aim of Saturday night is that you can wake up and hit the ground running. So make your excuses to your partner. Tell them that it's important that you have undisturbed time, and explain why this is important. And yeah, let your electronic friends know you won't be contactable. Remember, if you spend the weekend jumping every time your phone, Facebook, or email beeps at you, you'll waste this time. What you're aiming for is the most productive, undisturbed time that you can possibly create. It might be an idea to collect the notes you've made up to now. A product creator is constantly coming up with new ideas, and to collect your thoughts and prepare yourself properly for the weekend. It's important to realize that to get more done in a shorter period of time, whatever you're doing, particularly when you're creating things, you need to be quick to get into a state of flow. This is a state where your brain is going a million miles an hour and your body is just about keeping up, where ideas flow easily from your brain, where it leaps from one idea to another at just the right moment. It's almost like your product can create itself using this method. You will have had times in your life where you've experienced flow, where things just happen naturally. What we're looking for is to learn to manufacture this. And there are some things I want to give you to help you do that. Because to be productive, you'll need several states of mind to click into this weekend. Think of these like hats to put on that get your brain thinking in a focused way for each stage in the process. This gets a little bit schizophrenic, but I promise you it helps. Bear with me here. These hats are first draft writing hat. When you're wearing this, you want to be following your train of thought and letting this lead what you write or record. You're ignoring mistakes, typing errors to get your thoughts down. You can come back to mistakes later. Your first draft writing hat allows you to slip between things as thoughts occur to you without thought of the big picture. It's the best way to get what's in your brain out. It requires zero interruptions and quiet space. First draft writing hat is the state we're in when we're plugged directly into our creative imagination. The house could be falling down. We would not notice. We are focused on what we're doing at that time and where our brain is leading us. When I'm wearing my first draft writing hat, I'm hyperactive, often struggling to keep up with the thoughts that I have. This is second draft writing hat. Second draft writing hat cares about the order that things are in. He's a little bit OCD that way. He looks at the big picture, but only as far as the document you're creating is concerned. Second draft writing hat gives you editorial control over first draft writing hat. You can get a little bit wild at times if not tightly controlled. And the third and last hat is big picture hat. This hat you'll be wearing when you need to take a break from the concentration of writing or recording video. It allows you to see the big picture and steers your direction. We'll be wearing this hat for short moments in between intense concentration. We wear it to steer what first draft writing hat will be doing next. Big picture hat will keep us on message and not allow the creative brain to take over your project. This hat is your boss. It's your time manager, your project manager. Okay, why the crazy hats? Well, think about it. To be super productive, you need to quickly slip between creative thought and project management, between editing and creative writing. And I've just given you a way to do that. So what will this creative process involve? What stages will we go through as we research and create our product? Well, the first stage I go through is coming up with a specific product idea. In reality, this is actually done on an ongoing basis, as this is the mindset of the product creator. But this is the first stage in the process. The aim here is to come up with as many ideas as possible and filter them to find the gold. Then I create a specific course plan, a short piece of writing to describe what I'm creating. I brainstorm content for the product, and I imagine a sales funnel based on this brainstorming. I often name the product at this stage and give it a hook, which best describes what the customer will give the person who buys it. And I nail down exactly what sections and content I'll include based on the specific course plan that I've created. I then let first draft writing hat free with its madness to get to work on the content. And look, doing this often works in a haphazard way, jumping between sections as one idea sparks off another in your mind. And it's normal to be working that way. And through switching between first draft writing hat and big picture hat, I can usually get the first draft down pretty quickly. So back to the idea of a weekend, let's have a look at the contents of these days. How might you split things up? Well, Saturday morning, I put big picture hat on and do some fast investigations. I look at myself and I examine the niche I want to enter. What's selling? What questions are people asking? What information is available to help people solve their problems? What solutions are people prepared to pay for? Saturday afternoon is about nailing down your idea and tightly defining it. And big picture hat is good at this. I've included on the slide that the sentences I use to help make sure my idea is specific, a specific audience, a specific outcome, and the specific benefits that the product I'm creating is going to help the person achieve. Because after the boundaries of the product are tightly defined, I let first draft writing hat loose on the content that needs to be created, and he's kind of in within a walled garden. He doesn't go elsewhere. I also design my funnel and produce my content plan. I use Poplet for that task. There's a link in the toolkit I'm going to give you at the end. Often I find content starts to pour out of me once I've got this structure. And often I've started the product at this stage. If inspiration is there on Saturday afternoon or on Saturday morning, use it and engage your first draft writing hat, your creative brain. Big picture hat starts Sunday with a review of Saturday's work. And look, often things make much more sense after time away, and sleep's a great way to break the 2 days up. But the rest of Sunday is about creating content, writing what I think, following my brain's train of thought, which is directed by the project plan that I've created. I might create video tutorials, screencasts, and I use a Pomodoro technique, which I'll explain in a few moments. Saturday afternoon or evening, I try and put first draft writing hat away a bit more to crystallize the project and finish it. First draft writing hat really only knows how to write more. It's this hat that took over some of my previous projects and made them into hobby projects rather than ones designed to make me money. Second draft writing hat then needs to take over to reorder and edit what I've created. And later on in the evening, maybe I use big picture hat to collect together everything I've done, make sure nothing's missing, and export what I've created. But look, the biggest piece of advice I can give you about doing this isn't what I do each day. It's the strategies I employ to make this possible. And I want to introduce a few of them to you now. Firstly, please set yourself up for success. Start everything you create in software that automatically backs up everything you create every time you hit save. And if you haven't already got Dropbox or OneDrive, Google Drive, or any of these cloud storage systems, they are wonderful. You can save a document in one of them. When you hit save, it automatically backs up to the cloud, meaning that your creative work is always protected. And remember, like any, it's a creative process. This is first draft writing hat's forte. He's the direct connection between my typing hands and my creative brain. Using first draft writing hat is about channeling your inner genius. And the more you do this, the more it'll work for you and the more creative you'll become. But be aware that doing this is tiring. It's best done in short bursts. Let yourself go. And then when you feel yourself get less productive, the ideas aren't flowing, do something else for 30 seconds. Get up, let big picture hat calm things down and let you refocus. It's also worth saying that just because you have a list of content to create, things don't need to be done in order. Trust your brain. Let it leap between sections. It's your job to keep up. Now, while first draft writing hat goes mad, big picture hat's job is in the breaks to direct the madness. I also find it useful to create a time plan sometimes because I've found that it helps to write to a time limit. You might be surprised at how much this helps you focus and train yourself. And the key to success with this method of product creation is to harness flow, to create things quickly and to write quickly. One of the best ways of doing this that I know is to use the Pomodoro technique, which involves periods of intense concentration split by 30 seconds reflective thinking. I think the advice is to use 15 minutes and then 2 minutes rest. But look, use your own judgment here. If you're flowing, don't stop. It's important to get rid of distractions and turn everything off. When you hit flow, you don't want anything to stop it. So you need a quiet, undisturbed place. You need to be comfy. You need to have everything you need to hand, like a drink or whatever else. You need to make sure you've eaten. I find it useful to give my body no excuse to procrastinate or think about something that I left downstairs. And when writing, leave thoughts of perfection behind. Perfection is for gods. We're after simple. We're after good enough. So how do you write quickly? Well, first draft writing hat, when it's trained, is really useful here. The purpose of writing the first draft is to get your ideas onto paper. Forget spelling, typing mistakes, aim to get flowing and follow where your brain takes you. If in doubt, just type what you're thinking. You can rearrange things later. I start by getting big picture hat to type in the headings first, and this will guide your writing. And remember, you don't need to write from beginning to end. Go wherever your ideas are flowing from and expect to jump about between sections as you get better ideas, as your brain warms up. Second draft attitude is to think about the individual sentences and the order they appear. You're still not after perfection, however. You're seeking to order first draft writing hat's madness, to edit it. Once you've read what you've written, you let this spark off extra inspiration. And when this happens, go back into first draft writing mode and type, looking for flow again. You might find yourself returning to first draft mode quite a bit and switching hats a lot here. But be careful, because this is where mission creep can occur. And be careful you don't write outside the bounds of your current project. And there's the toolkit should be able to provide you with the plan, the specific plan you need to make sure that that doesn't happen. If you're creating screencasts, this can be done in a similar way, and you can still do this quickly. And in fact, these are often easier to create in some ways. The biggest piece of advice I've got for you with speed is don't think you need to record anything in one go. If you're recording your screen and you make a mistake, you say something stupid or you miss something out, keep recording. Just leave a quiet gap and then do it again. Most editing software, and I'm thinking of Camtasia here, allows you to edit imperfections out really easily in a couple of clicks. And these edits will appear seamless in screencasts. In fact, if you're going into product creation, can I just make a recommendation here? Buy Camtasia. It's by far and away the best and the easiest and the most reliable software for recording your screen. It's honestly the best investment I've ever made in software. It's up to you whether you want to have a script or whether you want to wing it. It depends how well you know your subject. But look, you could be recording and learning as you go along, doing each mini piece and then pausing the recording while you think about what to do next and kind of practice it a couple of times before you hit record again. Your aim here is to find your best way of working and then refine it to make it fast. It's worth mentioning while I take a drink that sound can make or break your course. I've bought some courses with some truly awful sound, and it creates a really bad impression. But it's not difficult to do sound well. You don't need an expensive setup. You just need to get the right one. This microphone that I'm wearing now, this is the equipment I've actually got on my head now. I think together they cost under $40, and the sound that they produce is good enough and professional enough that I create a decent impression when I use them. And look, remember that much of online business is about standing out from the crowd, and you can do this quite easily when you create your products, because most people do a bad job. For examples, if you were just to go to Pixabay, which is a free image site, and add images into your reports, it only takes a few minutes to do, and it creates a real impression. It creates an impression of quality. Adding sections about taking action is another simple way which most products just miss out on. I paid I like that. I paid $5 for a selection of intros using my logo that I put at the beginning of my videos. One rule of thumb is to ask yourself if other people in your market who produce a similar thing do something. I mean, if they don't put images in their reports, then do it. You'll have a chance to stand out. One piece of software I bought a while back turns a PDF into an online flipbook. It takes about 3 minutes to do. It looks so different. It's helped me stand out. So look for opportunities to stand out in your marketplace, and doing things very slightly differently can work. It's important also to refine the mindset of a product creator. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, look out for the product ideas, because they're everywhere. Keep notes to store great ideas for later, and when you have an idea, get used to splintering this into pieces or a step-by-step process. When you get a product idea, start thinking about logical upsells or funnels. After someone has done one thing, what would they need to do next, for example? And keep searching for the biggest questions your customer has. It's also really useful to always be thinking, how can you repurpose content that you've already got in the future? As bonuses for other products, for example, you could splinter the product into sections and create an email course or a lead magnet and then a paid extra bit on the end. Could you angle whatever you're creating at a different specific customer, or could you sell this through a different channel? Can you produce this in a different way, in a video form or in a live webinar form? Everything you produce should be evergreen and repurposable. But most of all, I want to tell you that it really is easy to practice these creative skills and to get so much faster at creating digital products. The leap you imagine between being a buyer of these products and writing your own really isn't that big. It just looks that way from the outside, particularly as a customer. And I promise you that you're all much closer to creating a range of these products than you think. Your goal of having a successful product launch business really is in reach. But what I learned in the last couple of years, and I think the most valuable lesson of all, is what happens after you've created something. Because while creating a digital product actually can be pretty easy, selling it successfully requires answers to a few questions. The first one is, how would you sell it? Now, this is actually the biggest of these questions, because without customers, you have no business, right? I mean, how will you find customers wanting to buy? Will you design your own funnel? Will you sell through affiliates? Will you pay to drive traffic at your offers? How will you accept payments from your customers so that you can take their money from them and swap this for the product? And when they do buy the product, how are you going to deliver this product to customers? Are you going to email it? Are you going to have a membership site? Are you going to have a single download, a link? Are you going to deliver something by post? And the sort of questions, who will help you to create a network, to gain affiliate contacts if you're going to sell through affiliates? Who will help you learn to write persuasive sales copy or build sales pages or membership sites to protect what you've created? And what date to launch on, what platform to launch on? There's loads of these questions. And the problem with with these questions is that answering all these takes time. It takes time to win around reluctant affiliates who will have cozy deals with each other about what to promote next. I mean, you only have to look at JVZoo, ClickBank, or Warrior Plus to see the number of products which sell almost nothing at all. And teaching yourselves the skills necessary to place your items on sale on Warrior Plus or JVZoo isn't as easy as it looks either. And all this is without even asking the question of whether the offer you've decided to make is actually one which will sell or which an affiliate would want to promote. Gaining this experience can take a lot longer than a weekend or a few days it might take you to design your product. Now, look, I've mentioned an offer that I wanted to make today, and I hope that I've earned the right with the value I've delivered so far. The offer I've got is a special one. I want to partner with selected people to help them launch their own products and use my experience to help your launch succeed. I want to help you over the obstacles I've mentioned and guide you towards a successful launch rather than one which you might work your backside off for and then which falls flat, making only a handful of sales for the effort you've made to create it. What I'm offering is a true 12-month partnership, which I'll contribute significantly to. I'll help you refine your product ideas and create sales funnels which will be attractive to customers and affiliates. I'll let you see a simple formula which meets customers' expectations and that creates products that they actually love to buy and consume. Doing this properly will leave your customers hungry for more from you, and it's the perfect way to begin your launch business. My team, and particularly me, will design world-class affiliate information pages and sales pages so that your offer appeals to those who are going to sell it for you, the affiliates, as well as those who will buy it from you, the customers. I'll also design a members area which protects your product content and presents your creation professionally to your customers, giving you the chance to create a relationship with those that use your product. I can't tell you, so many people do this badly and then wonder why their list unsubscribes from their mails within a few days or weeks of their launch. And I'll mail my JV list of affiliates that I'm in contact with, and I'll show you how to publicize your launch to them too, as well as mail my own list to sell your product during your launch too. I also want to show you how to correctly list your product for sale on the most suitable platform for you, avoiding some of the mistakes which new product developers often make. But in addition to getting access to the calls and recordings I'm going to make available to you, you'll also get access to all future recordings and live events too. I also want to give you the chance to benefit from my experience in setting up a business. And I want to give you a roadmap to achieve your future success in information marketing, in internet marketing. And I want you to end this 12-month period, this partnership period, with a business plan, not just a product or two. But more than all that, I want to tutor you in the technical skills you need to set up sales pages, membership sites, and the proper strategies to use when building your business network. I'm going to hold nothing back here. I want your business to become one of my success stories. And in addition to live webinar tutorials teaching you these things, I want to speak to each partner personally to help guide what they do and to help you manage your business development over 12 months. This is going to give you a huge shortcut to the years of learning and mistakes typically necessary to truly succeed online. And if you take this opportunity and work hard, this will be the beginning of something extremely special for you. And this will be a true partnership too, but you're going to retain ownership of your product, the web pages, the sales pages to take forward into your future, whether you decide to launch future products with me or not. You'll be able to fast track the building of a reputation in this 12-month period too. And I want to leverage my own resources to help you do this. I hope to give you the credibility to be taken seriously by other affiliates, which is priceless in what is often a closed club. And I want to give you a level of respect in the marketplace, which will mean your future products are successful too. But look, I want to be honest here that this partnership offer is not going to be for everyone, and nor should it be. And you don't have to have this level of help to succeed either. Using the toolkit, the skills I've described, you could spend time reaching out to affiliates. It's possible to make friends and create a network yourself. It just might take you a little bit of a while. And you can learn much of what I'll teach you too from your mistakes, so although they may take years to make. And you can research answers to your questions on Google rather than getting immediate answers from an expert. But When I was sat in your position a few years ago with a similar offer in front of me, I simply didn't have the time to do the above. And if I had my time again, honestly, I would invest in this kind of service again and again. It's what makes me proud to be able to offer it. So who is this partnership for? It's worth saying to start with that I only work this closely with people I really believe in. The cost of a bad partnership is worth thousands of dollars and hours and days of time. It's just not worth deciding to work with the wrong people in this business. Our time's far too precious. So look, who is this offer really for? This offers for people who want a shortcut to starting a successful product creation business. And I can give you a serious boost here. It's for people who are prepared to invest in themselves to see future returns. And most of all, it's for people who act on the training that they receive. So how much is this going to cost for a 12-month partnership with myself and my business? Well, the total price for a 12-month partnership is $1,997, although I can accept several split payment offers too, although it becomes more complicated that way. I know lots of people, and I used to earn a monthly wage as well. I don't want to stop you getting your hands on training that could really make a difference because you can't get hold of a lump sum. And I'm not pretending either. I realize that these amounts do represent an investment in your future. And it was something that I needed to think really carefully about when I was in your position a few years ago. But I would have made this decision much more easily if I'd known that on my first launch, I paid for the cost of my training that I bought. So look, if you're on the call live or if you're watching the replay, I'm wondering if you have any questions about the partnership offer I've mentioned. Is this something that would interest you? Is there anything you're wondering about that's on offer today? And I've got a few questions that I've been asked over the last few weeks. There's a question about split payments and what if I pay in split payments and decide it's not what I want to do? Well, split payments effectively means me splitting my time equally over those months. And if you want to back out and cancel a payment, fair enough. But split payments mean that a launch won't happen until you've made them all. I've got one in the chat box here about costs. Are there any extra costs? That's a good question. Well, there are no extra costs. This covers copy, sales copy, design, hosting, the lot. The only thing you need to bring to this party is yourself, and you're in charge of product creation. I'll be able to help you with that. The cost is your time in creating the products that that we launch during this 12-month period. Another question here from Liam. What timescale are we working to? Well, yeah, I've mentioned 12 months, and I want to be able to offer you support for 12 months. Now, how long that takes you as a person depends on how quickly you make your product and other items in your sales funnel, and how quickly this can then be brought up to a saleable standard if we need to rework the product like I did on my last launch. A guideline here, I'd be disappointed if we couldn't do this from start to successful completion of the first product and get it on sale inside 3 months. But look, this will depend on you, particularly if you then want to go and make membership sites and things yourself with the knowledge that I'm able to give you. Good question from Maria. Am I guaranteed to make my investment back? Well, I can't guarantee you'll make X number of sales, I'm afraid, and I can't actually guarantee that people will support your launch. Although I can put you in a position where people will be wanting to make money from your launch and therefore will support it. I can guarantee that I'll be doing everything in my power to make sure that you do. Will the product really be mine? Yeah, the product will be yours. It will be released under your name, your banner. I don't want to take credit for something that you've created. I would love it if you wrote a testimonial on how we've worked together to be able to do this. And there are some terms and conditions around the profit that we would earn depending on how much profit there is. I want you to cover your costs. After that, because I'm investing quite a lot of myself in these products, I would probably want 50-50 in terms of the profit after you covered your costs. we would certainly share the list that would be created from them. But it's a good question. Thank you. Yeah, similar question from Philip. How long until I cover my costs? Well, in my experience, this could happen really quickly on the launch, but it depends on how well your product's received, doesn't it? I mean, I can help you and guide you in terms of the kind of product that you could make based on your skills, based on your experience, the kind of product which sells in the marketplace, and we can create an offer that is attractive to affiliates so that they believe they can make money by mailing it. But you might cover them a few weeks after the launch. I mean, you might cover them recommending affiliate products to your list. In my last promotion to my list, I made over $500 of pure profit creating just an affiliate promotion, sending out 3 emails. And I only promoted this to my commission magic customers. I mean, this gives you an idea of what the potential is there if you get a good relationship with some of the people who are buying your products. And no, Maria, you don't need to buy this to succeed. No, you don't. I am interested in partnering with people who want to be successful. I'm not saying that this is the only route to success. Of course, it's not. It's possible to break product launching down by trial and error. Typically, it takes a long time to come up with products and funnels that sell. There are a lot of mistakes that people make along the way in terms of pricing, in terms of product, in terms of what affiliates will support, in terms of what angles to use to be able to make the product appeal to customers. There's an awful lot of tricks I've picked up along the way that I'll be able to pass along to you. And look, it's my goal to have you at the end of that 12-month period able to go off with my knowledge and succeed without me. That this isn't an exercise in providing you with a service that you're going to keep needing to buy. I want to teach you this stuff. I'm interested in having coaching students and a partnership between ourselves rather than a level of dependency, which I know some courses feed on, because hey, if you need to launch your next product and you haven't been taught the requisite skills, you're going to need to keep having to go back to that person. So no, you don't need to buy this to succeed. I am of the belief that this is going to shortcut the process no end that you're going to go through to be able to get to a point at which your business is successful enough, for example, for you to leave your job. Okay, yeah, Ben, have I got a cheaper version without some of the elements and things? Well, yeah, okay, that's a reasonable question. At present, I don't have the time to deliver weekly webinars or to offer anything more than I've got here. I'm currently, personally, I'm moving house. I've got significantly family commitments at the minute as well, and in a few months this might be possible. Just bear in mind when you're thinking about cost that if you go into your own product creation and do it badly, the cost to you might be zero, but the benefit is going to be zero too. If you go in and realize that you need help with sales pages and copy, sales copy, and protecting your content in members areas, then bear in mind that if you outsource this production, you'll be paying much more than the partnership offer prices. If I'm creating a membership site for someone with branding, I typically charge north of $1,000. If a decent sales page can cost, the bog standard price is $500 for one sales page. Now, times that by how many sales pages would be required in a normal sales funnel, and you've got an idea about how much this can cost if you're going to go professional on this. I'm not saying that you can't do this on a small scale, writing your own sales pages, learning as you go along. I'm simply offering you a shortcut to that process of learning, and I'm confident that I can give you some of those strategic skills, some of those technical skills you need to make your product launch business a success. And yeah, similar question. Can I do this work myself? What would it cost to do this? Yeah, look, you can learn this stuff from YouTube by trial and error. You can network with people yourself on places like Facebook. It's likely that your first few launches will fail while you do this. I'll be honest with you. This offer is for people who don't have the time to make these kind of mistakes. And look, if you've got any other questions, please pop them in the chat box. Email me anytime. I'm very happy to be able to discuss this with people. It needs to be the right decision for everyone here. But a partnership means that I'll be personally invested in your success. This isn't a course which I'm going to sell and then walk away from. This is personal coaching, and I'll quite literally have skin in the game here. And I can't agree to work with everyone that applies either. We'll have to see if we're a good fit first. And hey, you'll be doing a bit of interviewing of me as well as me interviewing you, won't we? We're going to have to make a decision whether or not we go into a business partnership here. We do that through an application process and a short form that you fill out to tell me a bit more about who you are, where you're at, and why you want to do this. And from there, it's best I call you on Skype and have a chat to confirm that you're a good fit. But I honestly can't tell you how good it feels to have sales coming in passively. Knowing my customers are being presented with my product, deciding to purchase and receiving their products automatically. Today, I was in a meeting with a client when my iPad popped up one of these notifications at the top of my iPad. It makes me smile every time my iPad or my phone ping me with purchases going through. My evergreen products pay me every week for the work I put into creating them. Imagine this happening to you, and now imagine having 10 products out there all doing this. So look, if you're committed to this opportunity, if this is something you're interested in and you want to explore this further, if you have a great product idea to discuss, let's get on Skype and discuss this. And the URL you want to go to fill out the application form with no obligation, you can fill it out and then decide that this isn't for you. This is the beginning of a consultation between ourselves to see if this is a right move for myself and the right move for you. https://antcarter.com/PLC product launch coaching. antcarter.com/PLC. The application form is there. I'm very happy to read your thoughts, to be able to get on Skype, to be able to have a chat about things, and see where this takes us as two people trying to succeed in the world, because there's a benefit here on both sides. And I'd very much like to be able to help your business grow in the next 12 months. I've got space for maybe 3 people in my time frame in my week, and that won't interfere with other parts of my business. I'm really interested in being able to help people. It's where my brain's at. I'm wanting to help you succeed. It's what my blog's about. It's what my products are about, and it's what my business is about. It's about helping people achieve what they want to achieve. And I promised you the Weekend Creation Toolkit. This is the URL you can download this from. It's antcarter.com/weekendcreationtoolkit.pdf. I'll be putting that in I'll put it in the chat box now. Let's see if we can put it in the underneath the replay video as well, wherever I decide to put that. And please download it. See if you can follow it, create it, use the information that I've imparted on this webinar. Some of it's a little crazy, I realize that, but there is method to my madness, believe me. I've taught hundreds of people to create learning resources over the years, and there's a process that honestly works for the majority of people that have ever come across me. And I've tried to stew it down into the digital product in a weekend workshop creation toolkit. You're very welcome to take that away. And I hope that whether or not we enter into a partnership between yourself and myself, and whether or not we can create some things together, that I can see you having success with the methods that I've outlined today, and with some of the simple product creation strategies that I believe in so much. And good luck in your own business. I'm really looking forward to being able to see you succeed in the coming years.